but thank you for reminding me. Okay, now we're recording. Okay, all right. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight. Jamie and I were talking, and we really wanted to get some like outside coaches to, talk with you guys because we're both big believers of like learning from other people, learning from other successful coaches, and, getting outside the box and, finding out what other people are doing to become successful. And I just really love Cheri. Like Cheri, she's done a couple calls in some other groups that I just really liked because she's very real. Like she's 100% Cheri. Like, you guys see a lot of coaches making their posts and they've got like the wind in their face and they've got the beautiful hair and, they've got the nice poses. And that's just, I don't know, Jamie and I are both, we're not like that either. We're just like, here's me with spin up on my shirt, join our team. But Cheri's very much like that too. Like her posts, like I love it because they're like her, like in a headband, and she is like super, super successful with that. And I just love that because she is a 4-star diamond coach. She's obviously doing the right things. She has an amazing following. Her like page has like 5,000 followers or something, which I just look at that. I'm like, if I could get to 500, that'd be great. So anyways, I'm going to turn it over to Cheri and she can kind of share a little bit about herself and get right into the meat of the call. So make sure you have pen and paper ready because she'll be sharing a lot of good info. All right. Take it away, Cheri.
Funny. I got asked by Nicole Grafton to speak on her team call last month about being genuine. Her team is genuine. And my husband said, do they all just, is that good? I'm like, yes, honey, it's good. Trust me. It's because I'm just no makeup. So.
No, I love that. Yeah. And I think that's that's really what I really strive to be is like, there's what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to, take away my freckles and, have the wind blowing. If I have, I usually have this on because I have a shirt underneath. It's not one you want to see. So yeah, I am a 4-star diamond coach. I've been coaching for a little over 3 years. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. When I signed up, it was just for the discount, and I told my upline, don't even talk to me. I had a very successful daycare business, and I worked 10-hour days, and I did not want to even think about doing anything else. And I quickly saw other people going on trips and making money, and I have a little bit of Ruby in me, so I'm like, okay, I've got to try this. And I fell in love very, very quickly. I went diamond in 6 months. And I never had that warm market. Like my husband signed up because I made him. My mom signed up because I made her, and that was it. I didn't have any friends who wanted to join me. I didn't have any family that wanted to join me. So I immediately knew I had to go to a like page if I wanted to have any success in this business. But the problem was I didn't know anything about social media. I'm 41, so I didn't touch a computer till about 20 years old. I had email at like 26. I remember it was a big deal. So I didn't grow up with this, and I'm not, my college education is in early childhood education. It's not in anything business oriented. So I didn't know if I could do it, but I slowly learned that if I was willing to spend a little bit of time on it, that it would work for me. So I have 9,000 followers, and you're close. A lot of those are organic, which means they found me, and a lot of those I have boosted an ad for, or I've gone to other pages and met people that way, and they've followed me. So with my team this year, we're really focusing on social media because what I heard a lot last year was, I'm doing what you say, but no one wants to join. And I get that because I totally had that. And I tell them, go to your like page and be real and be you. But unfortunately, it's not just, just that. You have to have a little bit of knowledge of how it works. So one thing I do on my like page that has really helped is I have been open about myself. So I'm still overweight. I'm still working on my fitness journey. I share that. No one on my like page thinks I'm 110 pounds. They don't know exactly what I weigh, but they know it's the number I'm not happy with. They know I'm doing hammer and chisel. I share that. I used to be a Friday night binge drinker, and I mean, 13, 14 beers, a lot, to where I woke up the next morning and I didn't know what I had done. And I used to smoke. I share that. And at first it was so hard because, of course, when I was smoking and drinking, I wasn't sharing that. So I felt like people would think I was a fraud. And then I realized that's just my life. So, if they don't follow me because they feel like I lied to them, which I didn't, I was just ashamed and couldn't quit. Those are two very hard things to quit. Then that's okay. But they embraced me. So the people who follow my page, most of them are working on their journey. They're still fighting with their weight. They like that I post, well, they don't like it, but they relate when I say, oh, I gained 2 pounds this week. I've got to focus on my nutrition more. If I came on every day and never shared any of that, then, they wouldn't get to know me and they wouldn't trust me. So you don't want to be perfect. You don't want to have, I saw a video from Caleb Thomas once, and I don't know if you saw it, but it had a picture, had his face. He really didn't even have a face because he'd use one of those apps, Beautify or something, to make he was kind of making fun of some of the coaches who do that. And a lot of them do, when you see their pictures, and they have eyes, a nose, and a mouth, but they don't have anything else because they cropped it out. They blemished it out. That's not reality to anybody. So I don't do that. And I think if you are going to be open, share your struggles and share what helps you, what doesn't help you. That's what people want to see. And so I have 5 tips for you, because on top of Ruby, I'm super, super emerald. And I like to have, when I go somewhere, I want to have takeaways. I can number. It's a weird thing. So my first one is, when you're building a following on a like page, you want to make sure you're building it around you, because Beachbody, Shakeology, Insanity, Hammer and Chisel, that's not what people are going to buy into. They're going to buy into you. And when they trust you, they're going to trust you to give them advice. And then those are the different tools we have to help people. But your like page should be you. So your picture, I didn't know this until recently. 87% of people, this is what they're looking on Facebook, 87%. So that's huge. So your picture should be this, your face smiling, and that's it. It should not be you and your best friend, you and your coach, you and Sean T. It shouldn't be you with the most awesome background, because they can't see you. Just your face. That is your storefront. People are going to look at that and go, oh, she looks really happy. She looks really nice. What is she about? Or they're going to go, oh my gosh, what is that? And they're going to just keep scrolling. So have it be you smiling. Your page name should be your name. So like Cheri Beasley is my page name. Now, I'm not saying you won't succeed if you have other things. Melanie Mitros is not her name. There are a lot of people who have very successful coaching businesses, but you should, if you don't have one, or you can still change it, that's the route you should take. It's just your name, because a lot of people are going to be turned off by a word, fitness or healthy balance. And you're about more than that. You're about more than fitness. You're about more than healthy balance. You're about you and your family and everything. So if it's just your name, people are going to like you and they're going to follow you more likely than they would if you had that one little letter, that one little word that's going to scare them off. Your banner, make sure it's bright. And I did mine from my phone I think I used Moldiv and Typic. So my like page banner, later I had someone outsourced it to Casey Wallace. Casey Wallace is amazing with banners, but at first I did my own till I could afford to pay her. And it has a picture of myself and my husband when we're all dressed up, a picture of us after working out, and then a before and a during picture of me. So you don't want to have Beachbody. You don't want to have a single Beachbody thing on that, just your life, because again, we're going to brand you. Make sure when you post that you post 85% you. So when I go to your page and I'm scrolling down, if I see a whole bunch of Beachbody or Shakeology or Challenge Group, anything like that, if I see a bunch of those, I'm going to turn and run. You want to do, they say 10 to 15% is good for your business, no more. And you can choose what you want. So I post a lot on my like page. I post 7 to 8 times a day. So one of those is always a call to action, whether it's like, join my coaching group, here's why, or let me tell you what Shakeology's done for me. Do you want to try it? Or, hey, busy moms, I know what it's like to take care of yourself. Here's what I have to offer. One a day for me, because I post so many times. If you only post 3 times a day, you would only want to have a call to action once every other day, because you have to balance that out. You want it to be about you, but you can't forget those call to actions, because there are a lot of people who you'll go on their pages and their coaches and you'll scroll, and like for 4 days you don't see anything. You still have to share that this is your profession, this is your job, and this is what you love to do. So make sure you don't forget that. That's easy to do. Facebook was originally built around community and around friendships. So when you are posting, make sure you keep that in mind. If you feel salesy, you're being salesy. And if you feel yucky, it's probably because you're being salesy. So just pretend it's like your best friend and you're posting, all kind of fun stuff for them. The second thing is, with the scheduling, you want to post 3 to 5 times a day. 3 is like the minimum. You really should post 7 to 9, but I know that's a lot. Most people won't do that. So I do it, but I schedule mine. I only have 2 that are live, my workout, and then something my kids did that day, or maybe my Shakeology post. And you don't want to use Hootsuite, you don't want to use Buffer, and you don't want to use Edgar. You want to use the Facebook like page scheduler. And to find that, you just, when you're on your page, you put the picture in and you write what you would write, and then instead of hitting post, on the bottom right hand corner you hit schedule. And you can schedule for like months out. It's really awesome. So like I sit down on Sunday and I schedule for the whole week, except for, and I have a really technical way I do this. I know you can't see, but you can see a little. So those are all the times I have posts I want to put up, and those are all my posts. So like, here's Thursday. I have a couple of times I still need to think of a post for, because I didn't get around that day. So then I'll go in that tomorrow or tonight before bed, and I'll schedule those in. So if you work, it's okay. I worked 10-hour days for a long. I just went to 8-hour days about 6 months ago. So schedule them, except for your posts, for your Shakeology and stuff. If you don't know what to post, just post you. Post about your husband, your wife, your kids. What do you like to do? Do you travel? What TV shows do you watch? And always make sure they're engaging posts. So I had a picture of Sophia. Sophia is my granddaughter, but I have full custody of her. She's 2.5. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I put it up, and she is just enamored with casts. We had a daycare boy with a cast last month. So now she wants to wear a cast. So one day she came up to me and she called me Mommy. She's been with me since she was 1. Mommy, look, I have a cast. And she put her leg through one of those. It was a Winnie the Pooh movie case. So I took a picture of that. It was so cute. So instead of just posting it and saying, oh my gosh, look how cute she is, I said, oh my gosh, look how cute she is. She loves casts right now. Did your children ever have any broken bones? That way they can answer you. Because the more people engage with you, the more Facebook likes that, and they're going to show your post to more people. So make sure and sometimes you just can't. Sometimes, if it's a picture of your husband and you doing something, maybe you just want to share what you guys are into at the moment. But 9 out of 10 times, you can find something to ask. Sandy Kirkowski, I always say that wrong. She has free social media templates. So if you're unsure, go to her page, and they're awesome. She gives you ideas on times to post, what to post. That's where I got all my training from, with Sandy. The third thing is that culture. Like I said, Facebook was built on community and family and friendships. So you want to build that culture. You want it to be somewhere people look forward to going to. With those questions, try to do, fun questions. People get on Facebook because they want to escape. They want to escape their job. They want to escape their husband or wife or their kids. They want to be up, lifted up, and they want positiveness in their life. So give it to them. Give them uplifting posts and share, something that happened in your life that day that, really made you feel good. That's what they want. And actually the number one thing shared on Facebook is positive posts. And you want people to share your post. The more they share it, the more people are going to see it. Speaking of which, the fourth thing is be positive. When I am scrolling and I see someone I can tell it's a like page and they are arguing with someone, I just shake my head. Nobody wants to be told they're wrong, even if they're wrong. They are going to unfollow you, unlike you. They don't want you to argue about politics or go too in depth into the news, because it's just going to stir up controversy. And again, we're about positivity. And a great example is Megan E. Walton. I think it was yesterday. She had one of her videos up, and I saw a guy posted and said, "You should go eat a donut." And underneath that, she had a smiley face, and it said, "LOL, I don't like donuts, but I love ice cream." And that's exactly what you should do. Either ignore it or post something back like that. Because she could have very easily said, "Well, that's not very nice," or something, but she knows her followers would leave her if she wasn't positive. You don't have to always be that ray of sun 24/7. Like, you can come and say, "Hey, I had a really rough morning," or "My kids are just screaming and driving me crazy." But then you need to have what you're doing or what you did to remedy that situation, so that they can go, "Oh my gosh, she has spit up on her shirt and her hair's a mess and she's had a bad morning. I get that. What'd she do? She sat down with some personal development. Maybe I should try that." So kind of, always have that way out for them, whatever, helps you. And then the fifth and last thing is you have to invest in your like page. And that is so scary. I remember one time when I was just dabbling a little bit in my like page, and I was talking to Summer Tucker, and I said, "Man, that money I make from coaching, I feel like I'm throwing away with Facebook." And she said, "Cheri, that is a poor man's mentality. When you make money and you say, 'It is all mine, I am not going to use any of it for anything.' You have to invest in your business like any other company does." And the great thing is it's a tax write-off. So you keep your receipts and you can write it off. So what works best is advertise for 4 days at like $3 to $5 a day. That's what Facebook will show. Now, you can do more money, of course. Now I usually do $5 a day for 5 days, and more people see it. But what's great about the like page is that's why it's so important too. You can actually target people you want to see your post. So I target women, the US only. I'm 41, so I do 35 to like 42. I do interest of, depending on what my ad is for, maybe Weight Watchers, maybe Tony Robbins if I'm looking for a new coach because it's someone that might be in personal development. You can go down, you can target so exact on your like page, which is really nice. And then, of course, you have to, look and see, hey, no one is commenting or liking or filling out my application. I need to change something, because sometimes you do. You have to go change your page. And if you aren't familiar with Power Editor, go to YouTube. Nikki Johnson is a top coach who has an amazing video that walks you step by step on how to use Power Editor. And I am so computer illiterate, and I learned it from her, piece of cake, through the YouTube video. That way, you don't always have to post an ad on your page for everyone to see, so you can have 2 or 3 ads running at once. It's called a dark post. So I can have, a coach ad and a Shakeology ad both going, but you guys won't see it on my like page. It's just out in my target world. I don't know if that makes sense. And Facebook is, they're changing all the time. So you do want to, like once every 2 or 3 weeks, hop on Sandy's page or Amy Porterfield. She is a great one. And Kim Garst, she's another good one. Because Facebook can change tomorrow. You just never know, and you have to always be learning. And it seems like a lot of work. I know right now you're probably going, "Oh my gosh, I do not have time for that." But why put all your time into a page or into inviting from a page that no one can see? Because if you're not being consistent, then you're non-existent. That's my favorite quote ever. If you're not consistent on your like page, no one's going to follow you because you're in and you're out and you're dabbling. But if you share about you and you share openly and raw and genuine and you're consistent, so you're not gone for 2 or 3 days because you're on vacation, or you're not gone because Desperate Housewife has a 3-day weekend marathon. If you're there every day, which is so easy through scheduling, then this business, it can pay you back so greatly, not just with income, but with friendships and trips and just learning. I posted the other day on my page, if I never made a penny, if I never made, all these awesome friends and went on all these trips for free, I quit smoking and drinking because of Beachbody. So like that right there is enough that everything else could go away and I would forever be grateful. So I hope that helped you guys. And let me see some questions. If I read questions when I'm talking, I totally mess up. If we make a like page, how is it different than, okay, yes. Sorry, Kelly answered that. Jamie, how far do I run my ads? It depends I'm sorry? If I'm doing an ad on my like page, so not a dark one, on my like page, I'll do it 5 days in advance. So that gives me 4 days it's going to run, and then it gives me a day to message everybody. Any other questions?
Yeah, Cheri, you had posted in another group about like cutting off your personal page for a couple weeks and like going strictly to your like page. And I know a lot of people do this. Like this is kind of how you have to get your like page going, is just like force people to go over there almost. So I just wanted to, I guess, get your reasoning behind it and kind of your like plan of action.
Yeah, that's scary. That is.
I know.
I'm still like scared to death about it, but I've heard over and over and over to do it. And then I was just listening to a podcast from, I have to look at her name real quick, from you guys all know who she is. Platinum Edge. Who is that coach? Top coach.
I don't know. Blonde.
The blonde. Yeah. They don't have her name.
It's not. Oh.
Yes. Christine Dreyer. Thank you, Megan.
Okay.
Yes. So she's the one that I finally decided to listen to, and this is what she says, and it really makes sense. So you have a like page and you have a personal page, and you're posting on both, which I have done for 3+ years. Why would anybody leave my personal page, which they think is about me, to go to my sales page? Because I'm already posting over here. So this has to be a Yuki sales page. So that was one reason. Another reason is you don't have time. You can't do valuable posts on both. And she said that once you get past the cricket stage, your engagement will go up and you'll get more and more people to join you. Now, I've only done this for 2 days. 2 days. I have done nothing different for 2 days, and my engagement is through the roof. Through the roof. I don't know. I still don't fully trust it. It's too new.
I know, that's my whole thing too, is, a lot of people have said this for like a long time. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. But then like, I can't even do it like a day, because it's just, it's scary, I think. Well, I think doing any type of like page, because you're like, I'm in it to win it. And that's scary.
But think about it. The only thing I have to lose is I go back to posting on both. But after just these 2 days, I don't think I will. I think that, guess what? I think those people know what they're talking about. It's crazy.
Yeah. Did you make, when you decided to do that, did you make a post on your personal page letting people know that you're going over there? Okay. That's the only thing.
I just said that I'm going to be posting on this page from now on. It's going to be my entire life, my kids. I named up a bunch of stuff. Kids, my travels, the same me, just in a different location. And I posted the link too, because unfortunately, most people are too lazy to look it up. So you do need to post the link so they can just click on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exhausting. I got really overwhelmed, especially when I was pregnant, because I was so sick that trying to post on both, and I was like, forget this. I
Yeah.
can't do it. So I went back to just my personal page because that's where all my engagement was. But you saying this, I mean, because I've been tossing up the idea of should I go back to my like page.
If you guys listen to the Platinum Edge, they have a whole podcast, and I'm telling you, I take a shower with Christine Dwyer every day now. She is amazing. Go to her podcast, and it's called Divorcing Your Facebook. Is it Facebook page versus profile page? Divorce your personal page. It's 54 minutes long, but you will do it. I guarantee you when you're done listening to that. She's just raw, open. She says that you're not being a business owner if you do it on your personal page, that you're behind the times, that you can get shut down. She has great reasons.
That's awesome. Hey, I did have a question. So with all the ads that you run, do you also, I know you had mentioned setting up events too. Are you still doing that as well?
I did. I had great luck with an event on my personal page 2 months ago. So I thought, I'm going to do this every time. I had 14 SC points by the second. Like, that event rocked. That was the only event that rocked. I don't know. So now it's hard. Facebook changed in that 1 month. They changed to where you have to do an event from your like page now. And I just didn't have the interaction. So no, I don't do the events anymore.
Okay.
Some of my coaches do. It got to be where it was just too much work and not people, they just weren't engaging ever. And no one was turning over to be a coach or even a free group. They kind of went in and they just got quiet.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was kind of difficult. I went in. It's my internet going in and out.
Yeah.
I got good feedback from it, but at the same time, it was so exhausting sitting there having to try to invite everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Going down and clicking people and all.
I had a lot of coaches join too, and I'm like, why are you joining?
That was another thing too. I had coaches. I was like, crap, did I invite them or did they?
And I even put no coaches, please. But
yeah.
Corey, can you describe a couple of ads that you've run and what the process looks like? I'm totally new to the like page. Corey, if you go to that Power Editor by Nikki Johnson, it'll walk you through because there's a lot. You have to click on this and Power Editor and create a campaign. But honestly, I am so ignorant with technology, like so ignorant. If I can do it, you can do it. Just give yourself an hour, have them take notes. And my ads are different. So for my 30-day ad, it's usually a Busy Moms ad. And it's like, it's actually a picture of me from the Cancun trip last year. And I'm standing by the beach. And it just says, hey, busy moms, I know what it's like to, take care of everyone else, not yourself. And then if I have a coach ad, I'll talk a little bit about what coaching's done for me. I guess what I mean is, what do you run ads on? You mean what?
I think like you run an ad for a 30-day challenge.
Oh, okay.
An ad for coaching at a glance or join my coaching team. And you also said you do a Shakeology one too. Yeah,
my team has a 5-day Shakeology group.
Okay.
Yeah, I run ads for everything. It's just easier. I didn't at first. You're welcome. I did only for my new coach in 30-day because I couldn't afford to do any more than that. But now I can afford to do all of them, and it always pays off because if I say I run it for $30, I just need one person to join, just one, and I've made that money back. So every single coach on my team, my diamonds, everybody is from a like page ad. Without it, I would have my husband and my mom still, and then they won't do anything.
Yeah, and I run ads. I don't run ads. I only do them for my accountability groups and for coaching at a glance. But, even though a lot of times I don't necessarily get new people, like outside people outside my personal page, I do get good engagement from my following that I have for some reason. Like they will go fill out an application on my ad and it's like my neighbor. And I'm like, really? You can't just You can't just talk to me, send me a message. But it's funny how like people, it really does do a good job of drawing in even just your hot market as well.
I think it takes you from, oh, look at Cheri talking about that shake stuff to, oh, Cheri's a businesswoman. She's got this ad.
Yeah. Well, no, it was funny. The other day I was on Facebook and there I go, like in the corner, like there's like, buy these leggings at Target. And then it's like, join Cheri's like coaching at a glance. And I was like, oh, look at her. She's like in the corner.
I know. I told my husband, I'm like, look at this. He's like, Cheri.
It's big time.
I'm like, look, I'm important. Look at me down there.
I know. I was going to message you because I thought it was so funny.
Mindy, what do you use for a form generator? I use Google Drive because, again, I'm ignorant and they're so simple. That's it.
Yeah, and MailChimp is actually really easy too because, like, thank you for saying like you're ignorant with technology because I'm like straight up like Jamie. Like I was telling Jamie, I was like, I can't. Like I got somebody to do MailChimp for me.
Me too. Me too.
But when I watch like a short, like 10-minute YouTube video on it, like it's super easy. So now I can go in there and generate my forms. And those are what I post with my ads so that people can fill them out. And then it's all there. And I can reuse those forms. And I always have everybody's contact information right there. And I can add them to like my newsletter list as well. So doing that is really nice to keep contact with everybody and keep everything organized. But I started with Google Drive, and that's idiot proof too. Like you could figure that out on your own. It may take a little bit, but you can do it. Because if I can do it, anybody.
I spent 4 hours with MailChimp and I could figure it out. So now I have someone who does that, and I just give her my emails every month and what to say. I can't do it.
Yeah.
My questions on the form depend on what group it is. So like if it's coaching at a glance or a coaching opportunity, it'll say, I give choices. I want to find out if they're Ruby, Emerald, Pearl, so I say, are you motivated by trips, by meeting new people, by income? It's worded better. And then I'll ask, do you want to focus on your health, make a little extra money on the side, make enough to quit your job someday? And then for my challenge group, I ask, are they doing a program right now? What is their goal? What struggles do they have? And then I always make sure I put for them to send me a friend request, because a lot of people, they're so hard to find on Facebook and they don't check their email.
Yeah. The other thing too is what I like to do is if I see anybody run an ad, I will, especially if I like the wording or how they explain something, I always cut and paste those and keep them in my own file so I can look through them. And because wording for me is difficult, like I have a hard time, how do I actually want to say this? And being able to have different examples makes it so much easier, because you can say like, oh, I really like how she explained the group, or I really like how she laid this out. And, it's just kind of, you can use it as a template. And I do the same thing, with when I'm creating forms as well. Like, what are people asking on these forms? So I'll just, if an ad of Cheri's came up in my newsfeed, like I'll click on her form and like see what she has. And a lot of like everybody's is pretty much the same. It's some, this word structure might be a little bit different, but yeah, I mean, I think like I've learned the most from just doing that, just watching what other people are doing, like saving it, looking at things, and seeing, really watching the people who are having success with it, because a lot of times it just comes down to like restructuring a sentence.
My husband always says the most creative people on Facebook hide their sources. I do the same thing. I screenshot ads and then go back to them.
Yeah. I think, because social media is, it's always evolving. There's always better ways to do it. So always, watching and seeing what the successful coaches are doing. Don't copy it, because people will notice that, and you don't want to be that. You want to be you, because if you copy somebody's and you see, you know, you may have mutual friends in common. If they see that, that's going to scream sales or copying, cut and paste, and we don't want that. So, yeah, be wary of that as well. But yeah, I think that's been the biggest help, is just watching what other people are doing and click on those ads. I mean, don't obviously apply to them, but just look at them and stuff. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that. Yeah, so does anybody else have any other questions?
I do. I came to the party a little late, so you guys might have actually talked about it earlier. When I originally started, I started out a like page. As Kelly knows, I blog too, so that like the whole like page isn't quite new to me. And I started being more active on my personal page, and because that's where I was getting a lot of my customers anyways. But like she had pointed out earlier, like I lost almost like all engagement on the personal page. So, but I have a lot of friends who have obviously military friends and whatnot that aren't going to be going to my fitness page. I can't put my entire life on a public forum. How do I switch the friends that want that personal page, or the engagement into the fitness side of it? How do I just stop posting those kind of engaging posts on my personal page?
That's what I'm doing. I put, please follow me, and I put my new link, my like page link, and I said I'm going to share my journey. It's still me. I'm just moved. And then it's up to them, because if they really want to follow you, and if they're going to be people that help your business, they're going to follow you. If they don't follow you over, they're still your family and friends, but they're not going to help your business anyway. So why waste your time posting on your personal page? They don't want to hear it. If they want to hear it, they'll move over to your like page.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So I hope I didn't rehash that, but
no, and we talked about that. I'm still terrified about that. I only had like 30 people move to my like page today, and I have like 1,500 friends, but those people, they're still in my life, but they don't want to know about my business and my life, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I think for you too, Lindsay, because I understand like the security stuff of it, maybe just move over to your like page, but anything that you want to share specifically to your job or something that's super, super personal, you could post that on your personal page so your friends and family know that. But, 95% of your life can be shared with the public, and you can just do that all on your like page. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else have anything? Well, thank you so much, Cheri. Like, I'm glad this worked out really, really good. This is, it gave me the push I need, Jamie. This is our goal for the month of January. We're just going to do it.
So I better not see you posting on your personal page anymore.
I know. Well,
say goodbye.
Give me a week. Give me a week to like figure out what I'm going to do. Process.
Well, next Tuesday you speak on my team call. So
yes,
when you do, I'm going to ask you, are you moved?
I know. I'll have my post. Maybe I'll say it.
I think what my biggest fear is with it is that I haven't been active on my like page for a couple months, which was bad, I know, but I think towards that end of that pregnancy, I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of worried about going just over there. So I wonder if posting on both for a little bit.
Well, and that's a good question too.
Or just go over to it. I don't know. I guess it just doesn't matter.
What I did, so for a lot of you who have like pages that haven't, you like have, left them, or you only post like once a week in them or whatever. What I did, because I took a break from my like page too, because it was just too overwhelming trying to deal with two platforms. And I was just like, I can't even think of enough content. And it was driving me nuts. So I was like, I'm getting more engagement with my personal page, so I'm going to go over there. So I left my like page. I didn't leave it. I only left it for like a month maybe. But when I decided that I wanted to start running ads again, I had to have content on it. So what I did is I just went through my personal page and started moving posts onto my like page and back posting them, because in the scheduler, when you go to make a post, the little thing that says schedule, you can actually back post them. So you could have content. So I was able to fill up content for the last month through back scheduling. So when I started to run my ad, there was no like, skipping days. It was all filled in. So if you guys are thinking about switching over to your like page, that's something that's really easy to do. Just take 20 minutes and just just copy and paste posts, especially engaging posts you had on your personal page, over to your like page, back post them, and you'll see it. It's really easy. And then you can start fresh, and going to your like page. That way when people come over to it, you have a bunch of content there, because what do you do when you go to a like page? You instantly scroll through everything and see what they have, so you want to make sure you have stuff there and it's not just like blank, or they see your last post was in like June, because that doesn't look very professional either.
And Cheri, how many times a day did you say you post on your like page?
I was doing 3 to 4, but Sandy, I'm in her inner circle, and last week she actually says 10. I can't do 10, so I've been doing 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So what? Big difference. Big difference. And it's only been a week.
How many do you do? I do 7
or 8.
7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my goodness.
Think about it. So, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not. So you have your workout picture. One of mine is a morning affirmation. So there's 2. Then you're going to have something about uplifting, motivational. There's 3. Okay, then you need something about you. So you got your faith. Maybe you post something about your faith. Maybe post a picture about your kids. That leaves 2, but you need 1 to be a call to action. So you only have 1 to think about. A recipe, or crocheting, or like I found out today that I'm off on Monday. So tomorrow, you guys are going to, if you follow my page, you're going to see me going, I already did that. It's scheduled. It's on there going, ooh, I'm off 3 days. So at first I'm like, and Sandy goes, you don't have to listen to me, but I make millions of dollars. Do you? I'm like, good point. So it's made a huge difference. I mean, I'm amazed at the difference in my page in 2 weeks from the small things I've done.
Okay. Awesome. And you did her social media training?
I did the network marketing social media training, and then right now I'm in her inner circle, where every day she posts a different video and talks about things. Okay. And this all changes. Like Jessica's my best friend, Jessica Rodriguez. I saw Wendy just had a call with her.
Lucky you got that in.
She's like my sister. And her and I talk all the time about Facebook and like pages, because she did the same thing. She had no market. And it changes. So like I'll go ask her a question and she'll ask me a question, and then we're like, well, where'd you hear that? Because I heard this yesterday. So you can leave this and you're going to hear something totally different from another coach, and then something totally different from someone else. So you have to just, I know there are a lot of very successful coaches who say, use your personal page, use your warm market up. And if that works for you, great. There's no right or wrong. It's just that never worked for me, so I never did that. And I'm afraid they're going to shut me down too, because you're not supposed to use personal page for business.
Yeah, that's a big thing is, it's what's works for one person isn't universally going to work for everybody else. So that's why it's so important to listen to different people, follow different people, because, really find what works for you and, run with that. Because, what I say isn't necessarily going to work for everybody. So you've got to find that coach that you really click with. So let's see.
If you guys see my page, you're going to see a post went up 5 minutes ago saying how much fun I had on this call. So see, yes. I mean, you schedule everything.
Yes. And that reminds me, we should do a really fun group shot real quick. So you want to do fist bump, everybody?
Sure.
Okay, now I gotta figure out how to see if I can do this with one hand. Okay, ready? All right, awesome. I can share that in the group page too, so you guys can steal it if you want. All right. Well, thank you, Cheri, so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, it was fun. Thanks for having me, you guys.
I have like 3 pages of notes. So,
Oh, good. Okay.
yeah, so I will try to find those YouTube videos for my team and throw them in our team page. The names, Sandy Krakowski, you'll see, probably a lot of you have seen her ads on Facebook. I know I have. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful night, and I'll get this recording up for you guys a little later. All right. Okay.
Hi, guys. Thanks.
Bye.